Lightning can be used to move value. It's instant, it's global, and it's much cheaper. So we are making Bitcoin payments possible in EU, and after that, we want to allow anyone to send value across the globe over Lightning.
Hello and welcome to Shoot the Breez, where we talk to the builders building the future of Bitcoin. Today we are joined by the CEO of Bringin, Prashanth.
So I'm founder of Bringin, and Bringin is we like to call it a complete Bitcoin app that allows customers to live on Bitcoin standards, which in simple words means allows people to buy and sell Bitcoin from any wallets, spend Bitcoin anywhere, even if the merchant doesn't accept Bitcoin, or send and receive Bitcoin payments around the globe. So we leverage Lightning to do so. So that's Bringin.
How did it come about? So how long have you been around? What brought Bringin along?
It's an interesting story. So like 3 years ago, I got paid in Bitcoin, and then it was incredibly hard to liquidate Bitcoin. At the time, Kraken had halted super withdrawals to bank account, and I was forced to use Binance, and Binance has a terrible UX. And it took almost like 3 to 4 days to get euros into my bank account, and there were like multiple questions from banks asking for the transfers, and it used to happen every single time. It's almost like I earned and my money was not usable, and Bitcoin was not usable. It was shocking. It was 2022, and I was still not able to use my Bitcoin. And this is extremely fundamental. There's thousands and thousands of Bitcoiners holding Bitcoin in Europe, but still it cannot be used. So that was the main pain point or the issue that I used to face, and I wanted to solve this myself. So that's how Bringin came into existence. Like,
You're based in Estonia. How long have you been in Europe for? Like, where have you lived around the continent? Would love to learn more about your kind of journey to where you are today. And I imagine that intertwines of why moving money is a problematic situation.
yeah, so it was 2019. So like I'll take I'll go back to the time when I started with Bitcoin. So 2019, I started learning about Bitcoin, mastering Bitcoin by Andres Antonopoulos. And after reading the book, I wanted to work in Bitcoin companies or to make Bitcoin payments possible in the world. So I was fortunate enough to find a company at the time was building payments for Europeans, and the company called Aspect. So they were building Lightning payments for consumers. So I joined as a second engineer, and that's how my journey to Bitcoin payments started. So I was in India at the moment, in Bangalore specifically, and then we moved to Estonia, Tallinn to get our own licenses and to scale this further. So that's how my entry to Europe. It was 2021, and when I moved to Europe, I was still earning in Bitcoin, so I just bought my Bitcoin. Whereas my colleagues struggled so much to send Indian national rupees to European euros, it was almost impossible. You had to buy Bitcoin and then sell Bitcoin in Europe. So that was the only way to like move funds from India to Europe at the time. So it was very evident how Bitcoin could solve most of these fundamental issues.
And so moving forward then, you're there. What was the moment where you're like, I'm going to start building for this now then?
Yeah, as I told, I used to earn in Bitcoin, and then so what happened with last bit is we couldn't scale the consumer product, which essentially was to use Bitcoin or liquidate Bitcoin for users. But we couldn't unfortunately scale because back then regulations were continuously changing, and then self-custody Lightning was not there to like get past the regulations, and we had to get our own license in Estonia. Once we got licenses as a company, focused more on infrastructure and licensing and became more B2B focused. So that's where I was facing this issue of liquidating Bitcoin. So I remember it was it took weeks for me to get Bitcoin to euros. I stumbled upon Binance after struggling weeks with Kraken not allowing me to withdraw my own funds, and then with Binance I struggled with UX, and then it was a struggle, and it was very clear this was not something that's acceptable in 2021. So that's exactly when I decided I'll build tools for consumers. For while Steve was building for businesses, I want to build uh, applications for everyone in Europe. So the applications that Bitcoiners deserves, not the application that allows you to just like invest in crypto or trade as an exchange.
Why was Bitcoin the solution that you needed? Because you were using it pretty much as kind of the intermediary to get to your fiat that you needed for your everyday life. That's kind of where it's at. Why not other cryptocurrencies? Is what a naysayer might say. So what made you no Bitcoin is our solution?
It's interesting because when I was introduced to Bitcoin, uh, it was it was from the fundamental ways how Bitcoin works, and like the proof of work that kind of secured the network, and that kind of kept the number of Bitcoin, the scarcity of number of Bitcoin. All this design was not found in any other cryptocurrencies, which came out there. So back then, when I was working with the founder, he told it's Bitcoin and shitcoin. So just focus on Bitcoin, and then that's how I kept my head only in Bitcoin only. But only with time, I realized why Bitcoin only and how proof of work matters, and how this is edge against inflation, which is technically not possible in any other cryptocurrencies because it's people can mint or issue as many tokens as possible. So
Let's fast forward to today. Then you've then built Bringin. Uh, how many folks are in the team? Kind of where are we today with?
so we had the beta launch in 2024. So the product allowed users to liquidate Bitcoin or convert Bitcoin to euros, and so it's been almost 18 months of beta. So we've been helping hundreds of Bitcoiners buy houses with Bitcoin, pay rents, and most so many of our users use Bitcoin on a daily basis to convert euros with debit cards. So it's been 18 months of the beta. So we have hundreds of customers beta testing the product. So now, just last week, we came out of beta. We are live on 30 European countries. We are live on Play Store and App Store and App Store. And so today, users can buy, sell Bitcoin to any self-custody wallet, spend Bitcoin anywhere, even if merchant doesn't accept Bitcoin. And good addition is we built our own wallet. It's a self-custody Lightning wallet that allows users to privately send funds and receive funds all over the globe instantly.
Well, there we go, and it is a nice, neat segue into why we're talking. So obviously, I work for Breez. Breez is as the Breez SDK is what you guys have used. Would love to learn from a technical standpoint some of the benefits of using the Breez SDK or your experience that you could share with other developers.
So the Breez SDK, we started working on Breez SDK back in 2023. So the first version of the mobile app was just the Lightning wallet. That was a great moment. So we started working on the Breez SDK and getting the Lightning wallet out. So we got the version one of the wallet out. So from the developer experience or from the support of the team, it was great. So the first version with the Lightning node running remotely, it wasn't as fast as we wanted it to, but we introduced a second version, which is nodeless approach. So users don't have to worry about the channels. So users don't have to worry about the sovereignty or convenience or complexity of node management. Now they get Lightning payments out of the box. And the second version was built in like 2 to 3 weeks. So we knew we were familiar with the code, we were familiar with SDK, so we were familiar with everything. So it just took 2 to 3 weeks to actually implement the Lightning wallet and launch it just before we planned the launch date, and 1 month before we started building Lightning wallet during this time, and it kind of worked. So
Win. That's all I'm hearing is a win. That's epic. And so, again, Lightning. You know, everything I'm hearing from your journey building. Obviously, you were early with the Breez SDK on our first implementation, the native one. Um, why Lightning for you? Because it sounds as though Lightning plays a very key role in Bringin.
so Bitcoin was primarily built for payments. It's peer-to-peer cash system. but using Bitcoin for daily payments is not practical because the payments takes at least 10 minutes and the fees is it's not practical to pay fees for on-chain transfer, so it's not practical to do daily payments. And Lightning makes it quicker, it's instant, it's cheaper, and it's global. So and Lightning is such a wonderful technology. It has more capability than what we can imagine. So it's going to make Bitcoin payments scalable and instant. So for us specifically in Bringin, being able to convert Bitcoin into some form so that they can purchase something tangible. So the time between holding Bitcoin in self custody and making payment, so that should be within seconds. So that's only possible with Lightning. That's why we leverage Lightning today to convert Bitcoin in self custody wallets to convert Euro, all happening in seconds. So that's why we leverage Lightning. But there is so much we could do on Lightning. We want to move value over Lightning.
I think something you're alluding to there is the bigger opportunity, right? And the bigger opportunity is that we're able to do things digitally that we haven't been able to do before. We talk about Breez, we talk about value transfer. The idea that value should move like information, I think, is key. And so, moving that, what do you see for Bringin in the next couple of years? How do you see the experience developing? How do you see that? How do you see that world kind of changing?
So today people can live on Bitcoin. So that's something that we made possible with Lightning and with debit cards and off-ramping services. But we want to leverage Lightning to move fiat across the globe. So there's still time for Lightning payments to actually be adopted. Every merchant to accept Bitcoin Lightning payments and customers paying Lightning directly. And hopefully it happens faster. But even before that, there's so much opportunity to leverage Lightning Network to settle funds across the globe. So right now, what Bringin does is it allows users to convert euros to Bitcoin and move to any self-custody Lightning wallet in seconds. And the other way as well, self-custody Lightning wallets to euros in seconds. So if there is on-ramp and off-ramps in different parts of the world, Lightning can be used as a settlement layer to move fiat across the globe. It's actually transferring value. It's not maintaining floats like how Wise or Revolut does. It's actually transferring value. It's instant. It's global. It works fast, and it's much cheaper if you're transferring value from, let's say, Europe to Latin America, or Europe to South Africa, and Europe to India. So that's where we are at. So we are making Bitcoin payments possible in EU for the next 6 months, and after that, we want to allow anyone to send value across the globe over Lightning.
Anything you'd want to share more of with the world? What would you want folks to know about Bringin, about what's coming up? You said about the rest of the world in the next 6 months. Is there anything that you're super excited about that you'd love to share?
Yes, in the near future, we are launching Bringin for businesses. So for the very first time, any businesses can accept Lightning payments without having to worry about holding Bitcoin if they don't want to, because most of the merchants are worried about like Bitcoin volatility price and holding Bitcoin, and then what to do after Bitcoin comes into my wallet. So we want to enable Lightning payments without merchants having to receive Bitcoin, but it auto converts to euro. So that's the first step because most of the merchants will start accepting Bitcoin, and then they can choose to not off ramp to euros and hold Bitcoin. So this is our next update. So merchants will start accepting Bitcoin. We want to build tools to make it extremely easy for merchants to accept Bitcoin payments to their self custody or auto convert to euro.
I'm going to let you have the final word for folks. Where should they go if they want to learn more about Bringin and what you guys are building?
Our website is the best place. So bringin.xyz. And for any updates, Twitter and Nostia. So Twitter, BringinXYZ. To reach out to me personally, Prashanth C123 on Twitter. So
there you go. This is it. This is the magic. Thank you very much for coming on Shoot the Breez. And yeah, we'll see everyone next time.
Peace. Thanks, Rani.